guys, it's me. I'm back again. I am in Armenia right now, in Yerevan, Armenia, and I just wanted to let you guys know how things are going for me. If you've seen my previous video, you know that I was doing a feasting, and around that time, I was also doing a news fast. I found that every time I was engaged with the news or watching the news, I would find my vibrational frequency coming down, and so I felt that on this path it may be a good idea to disconnect from the news for a while. And so I was completely disconnected, and I was feeling really good that I wasn't watching it. But every now and then I would peek in to see if anything's changed, but everything was kind of the same. Just feeling good about my journey and just focusing on my journey, instead of letting the news bog me down. So that's what I was doing, and it was going really well. And then so I decided that I wanted to travel because, you know, you guys probably know from my previous videos that I like to travel. So I wanted to travel, and so I decided that I wanted to go. I had some work that I had to do in India, and so I booked my flight and I was going to India. And so when I told people I was going to India, I was clueless about what was going on around the world. And so when I told people I was going to India, they're like, "Do you know the amount of COVID cases that are there in India?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And they're like, "Yeah, well, be very careful because the case numbers are going up, the deaths are going up, and all that." And I was like, "Okay." And yeah, and I had already booked my flight, and so I left for India. And I noticed that in India people were wearing masks, and there's no such thing as social distancing because the population is so great. There's no way possible for people to social distance, but they were wearing their mask and doing things like that. So yeah, and then from India, I landed up in Belarus. So I told people that I was going to Belarus, and they said, "Okay, but there are riots going on." And I had no clue because I wasn't watching the news. So I had no clue there were riots going on. I landed up in Belarus, and it was like I had gone back in time. I mean, everything was so peaceful, everything was so nice. And if people hadn't told me there were riots, I wouldn't know there were riots. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so nice. What a beautiful country." There was no mask, there was no social distancing, all businesses were open. It's almost like it was 2019, and things were just normal before the coronavirus. The day that I had to catch my flight out, so I'm on news. I was on the news fast, so just keep that in mind. So the driver that's going to take me to the airport calls me, and he says that we need to get out of town right now. I need to take you to the airport right now. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. So come outside right now. And I was like, "Okay, what happened?" And I found out, because I wasn't watching the news, so I found out that the dictator of Belarus had just unannounced inaugurated himself, and the people of Belarus didn't want him as a dictator, and there was a lot of political problems going on in the country, and I was kind of unaware of all of that. And so I was like, okay. And so I go downstairs, quickly pack my stuff, and I go downstairs to the lobby. The driver's there to pick me up, and we leave right away. And the driver's like, "You're really lucky because the dictator just inaugurated himself, and now there's going to be riots and there's going to be protesters all over the streets." And he goes, "If we had left like 10 minutes later, what would have happened is that you would have been stuck in your hotel because your hotel's in the center of town." I was staying in the center of town, and he said that the whole place is going to be blocked by the cops and the police. And so we're heading to the airport, and I see like protests everywhere, honks, cops, and military tanks. And as we're going on the road, I see the military tanks coming from the other way, going towards where I just came from, and they were Russian military tanks going the other way. And I was like, it was like a movie. Like, I'm looking back, and there's like tank after tank after tank going, and I was like, "Oh my God." And he's like, "Yeah, had we left 10 minutes later, you would have been stuck in your hotel. You wouldn't have been able to go out." So I was like, okay, well, I was really happy that he was there to take care of me. I just felt like, oh my God, I mean, this news fasting thing isn't really working out when you're traveling, is it? You could be stuck in a really tight situation. So anyways, I was just happy that I was on my way to the airport. I got to the airport, and everything was good, and I was like, okay, well, I'm heading off to Armenia now, and everything should be okay in Armenia, right? And I was like, okay, I'm sure everything's okay in Armenia. And so I land up in Armenia, and everything was fine. It was different. It wasn't like I had gone back in time. People were not social distancing, but people had masks on, and they're cops on the streets everywhere enforcing the mask rule, and so it looked a little militarized because the cops were everywhere. But that was okay, you know, you just go about your business and you know, go sightseeing and stuff. So I had booked a car rental to see parts of Armenia that you can see that were outside of the city center. So I had booked a car, and then so that was a couple of days after coming into Armenia. I booked a car to go and do some sightseeing outside of the capital of Yerevan. And the day that I booked the car, was the day, unfortunately, I didn't know, but the car rental person didn't show up, and I called him. I said, why did you not show up? And he says, oh, because of the current situation. And I was like, current situation? What situation? And I found out that actually that Azerbaijan and Armenia were actually, they both declared martial law because there's some skirmishes up at the border, and so now the car rental agency won't rent the car to me. So I was like, okay, so let me find another car rental agency. Maybe they might rent a car to me. And so I was walking down the street and I saw this a sign that said that they'll rent a car, and I called them, and he rented a car to me. And so I drove up to the north, and as I was driving up north of north of Yerevan, I see all these military caravans going to the border of Armenia and Azerbaijan. And so there's military cars, these vans going and going and going, and I'm just like, okay, and here I'm waving to the military people and just driving along on the street, and it's like, just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm here, I don't know if it's going to be a war zone or what. And so anyways, I did all my sightseeing. There was no tourist over there or anything like that. It was it was kind of empty because I don't think any tourists are coming here, because now that they declared martial law, I don't think there are any tourists coming here to Armenia. But anyways, I'm still here in Armenia, and I leave not tomorrow, but the day after. I am now tuned into the news a bit. It looks like some military jet was just shot down, Armenian military jet that was shot down. So anyways, that's how my news fast is going. The moral of the story is that if you are traveling, it's probably a good idea not to be on a news fast for the country that you're traveling to. So that is my moral of the story, because I've been in Belarus where protest was going on, and it could have been problems had I stayed much longer. And in Yerevan, here there's problem. Martial law has been declared. So hopefully I'll make it out, and everything will be fine. If you're traveling, probably not be on a fast. And I will keep you guys posted. I head to India from here, and I'll keep you guys posted on how things are going in India. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.